is sit in on assessments and intakes.
Mm-hmm.
And in the assessment, they have an interesting computer program. It blends the mental status examination with along with a psychosocial assessment. Also some other questions that are like legalese stuff that they want to know about the population that the funders do. And it's very interesting the way they put it together. So what is the full date today?
We can use the date.
How would you describe
the date? What was it? Let me write it before I forget. I know you have that memo. Clap, clap. 10,
I would just say
10,
yes.
15, 16, and we are in fall 2016. How would you describe
the situation we are in? And these are questions of orientation. At Swope, they ask them, where are you right now? And they, whatever they say, I'm in a chair in your office.
Okay.
What floor are we on? Second floor.
Okay.
And they just want to know, what building are you in?
Okay, I'm in
what
the chair.
county are you in? What
I am
state
writing
are we
what
in?
you said. I'm
What
in the
season
chair.
are we on? And all
I'm
these
in the
questions,
chair in your office.
it's not so much to get the answers,
But to see if the person is present.
Yes. Are you, to see how well oriented, because someone who's depressed, someone who is really...
I'm starting to get a little...
Yeah, it is getting chilly in
Yeah.
there.
But on top of it, I suffer from hot flashes. And sometimes I get extremely cold or extremely sweaty, and people think I have a fever. So you may see some
Have you had your hormones checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
are they good?
I'm taking something to help me.
Yeah.
But still,
I have to take methimazole because my thyroid levels are way off.
I'm taking something that's called paroxetine. It helps with
Excellent.
It helps with
Mood regulation. My husband
and
takes it.
also it helps me with that,
Yeah, because your heart rate. Yeah. Because if something sets off your brainstem, your primal, it will create. My husband has to take it for his OCD, not setting him over the top.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't stay on the survival state or the emotional state of your brain, so you get to the functional
Yeah, it
state,
can still be there, but you can
manage
away from it a little bit better. Yeah, it's a low dose.
Okay.
All right, so the point of the orientation is that then you would ask other things in the orientation, things such as, and it was in the other paper, attention.
Okay, so for speech and language, we would say talkative and spontaneous. The rate would be
fast and normal.
For you, I would say fast
because
that's the way you speak. It's not okay. For the volume, I would say strong. You're not loud.
You're not too loud either.
Fluency and rhythm, slurred, clear, appropriate place. And I know sometimes I'm hesitant. Don't be afraid to write it to do it, because
language barriers.
Sometimes I take a pause because I'm trying to make sure that I'm conveying the proper thoughts.
Yes.
Because I'm French speaker.
Yes.
I'm a French speaker.
Yes.
So if you want, you can write that down. And Francis Royon is the same way too. So that's what explains the hesitation.
I see, and is that something that I would put, because in looking at this,
but for you have clear, appropriate inflections.
Are we in this? You're looking for their ability to capture words. I used to stutter, and I would.
No, but listen, sweetheart. The thing is, I think you should write it. You know why? Because it's kind of you giving the specifiers, like, yes, the speech is sometimes hesitant, but my client is from French background and needs to take a pause to gather their thoughts, because don't forget that it's a cultural based thing too.
Exactly.
See?
Thoughtful pauses.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah. Because when you're going to write certain things about I'm pretty sure there is something about the cultural aspect of it, so that will come handy for you to write about, the fact that you've been talking to somebody who speaks decent English but has was born in France and sometimes has to take tough pauses.
I'm really bad about I'm had this problem in 911 and I have this problem now in social work, is I don't pick people apart. I don't, the way they look. It's like on the way here, I'm trying to think, does she wear glasses? I don't remember if she wears glasses. Because I memorize people based on their personality and their heart. I don't memorize people based on how they look or how they talk.
Okay.
And literally, like, I don't recognize people until I hear their voice. My own husband, I won't know. I mean, he can walk up and, like, grab my hand, and I'll be like, because I have a hard time mapping things. It makes me a great spatial artist. But it makes it terrible to recognize people the way my brain's wired. Faces, I see similarities from one person to the next as a human, but I see the finite details. But like you standing right next to your sibling, I couldn't tell if there's similarities. But I also, you know, and if I ever pass you in public and I don't say hello, it's because my brain is maps your personality to your identity, not the way you look. So like when I worked 911 and I would have to give descriptors of someone, I wouldn't say they're black first, because that's not the defining, that's not the biggest deal to me in my mind.
I understand.
That when there's a different language, it's not, I don't, well, they've got an accent. That's not the first thing that's important. That doesn't come to my head. It, you know, so I need to, but I need to start doing that because everyone else does that. I need to be able to do that because that's the language everyone else speaks.
But you know, in a way, I would love to have you, you know, as a counselor, because you give them a chance to the client to tell you their story instead of having the preconceived notions. But at the same time, because you know I can be somebody that's not you know like you because you know of my skin tone, of my the way I speak and stuff, it's important to keep that in the back burner because unfortunately some things may appear like you know they're part of diagnosis when they are not. Like you know that thing hesitant, it can be loaded with so many other things, you know. So, but if you remember to write a little note saying that, okay, this person is from a different culture, speaks French, and speak decent English, but still needs to take thoughtful pauses, as you said. So then, right there, you take out the fact that you know I can be hesitant because I have like you know this kind of disorder or that kind of disorder. You know what I mean? Right. So it's good to be the way you are.
But at the same time, I also need to recognize that your thoughtful pauses for someone else can be perceived as lack of intelligence.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, you know, if you were wired like everybody else, you could have said, oh, yeah, she already fits the criteria. So I'm pretty sure that she's on crack or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've seen that going on.
Please, and just stay the way you are. We need more mental health specialists like you to work with people who are from a different ethnicity. Believe me, it's so needed. And that's why I got in the field, because I thought that it was like we needed more. I'm glad that the field is being more open, but still is in balance. Too many, you know, white females. We need more men, and we need also more men or women of color. You know,
very much so.
Yeah, so we're getting there.
Because I know my stepdad and the closest member of my family is black, and I grew up it's very obvious the imbalance in society and the unfairness that goes just because of the color of someone's skin, which I never ever in my life have been able to understand. I can't wrap my head around that.
No, it's pretty easy to understand if you look at it from the capitalistic way, you know, because it's all about power. Because, you know, if I decide that, you know, because you're black, because you're Latino, whatever, you're not like
you're
me,
worthless.
You're worthless. So
it's
that means it's easier for me to keep on my privileges and keep going on with life, you know? Yeah. So that's the way it is.
But I'm not an egocentrical kind of person. I'm not looking in
No,
it.
I know you're not, but I'm just saying.
Yes,
you
and
know,
so I understand that because my husband is.
Unfortunately, that's how.
He's a tall, hairy, strong white man that sees absolutely nothing wrong with staying on top. So I get it.
Yeah, but honestly, in a way, I understand because that's what
He's like, yeah, it's unfair.
That's what he grew up with. That's what he grew up with, and in a way, it can be scary because from what I understand, by the year 2050, the Caucasian are going to be the minority in this country because all the people they call the minorities are going to be the majority. So I can understand why people are freaking out, and I understand why they want somebody like Trump to be the president because they want to preserve those privileges. I understand.
Want to things make America great again. Make it.
What they're trying to say, we want to keep our privileges and make sure that these people don't take over because they know they've been so shady for centuries that they're afraid that they can have a payback. I'm hoping, honest to God, if I'm still alive when that happens, because I don't know, I didn't make the calculations. If I'm still alive, I'm hoping that minorities can be better than that.
I might still be alive.
And not do like, okay, you did this to my ancestor and That's not going to solve the problem. That's, battling evil with evil. That I don't like. So, and I hope not. Let's go. All right,
so mood, sustained of inner feeling, possible questions. How are your spirits lately, Francis?
My spirits, I don't know. It's kind of touch and go, because I've been dealing with so many things over the past few months. Yeah, and I have those thoughts that sometimes I'm kind of afraid of. Yeah. But today is a good day.
Today is a fantastic day.
Yeah, because I finally decided to come and visit with you. Yeah, yes. So today would be a good day.
So what kind of thoughts make the other days not so good?
Like sometimes, fear, and because I was in the military once, and I work in what people would make call like the secret services for friends, in the army, and I saw quite a lot of, things when I was doing that job. So yeah, I'm a civilian now, and I'm trying to do something better with my life. Because I like things that have to do with the environment, ecology,
That's fantastic. How long has it been since you've left the service?
Maybe 10 years.
So it's been a little while. That's great.
Yeah.
Did you receive any special training that's been able to help you since you've left the service?
Not really. I did mostly some training online because I love computers, so I basically taught myself how to.
That's a good asset to have
to
these
be
days.
like, I wouldn't say computer engineer, but how to work with computers. If somebody has a problem, I can, because I'm very good with remembering things like that.
That's fantastic. Yeah. That is an excellent skill to have these days.
Thank you.
So today you're feeling good. Overall, for the last month, how would you say your overall feelings have been for you?
I don't like to use the word depressed, but I would say that I was like under the water,
Just feeling a little
low.
Yeah,
feeling low. Yeah, it's been like, as I say, touch and go,
Yeah. Have you felt days of having high energy?
Oh yeah, like if I have a client who wants me to work with computers. Oh, I forgot to tell you too. I work with generators that are with that can be powered with hydrogen. Because
really?
I'm really much interested in things like that.
I don't know much about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because instead of using regular fuel, because I told you I'm into ecology environment, so I studied how I could replace the fuel by water or other natural things.